Well, welcome to the Shifting Realities podcast. I'm your host, Julie Allison, and with me is my co host and friend, Robert Perry.
Hi there.
On today's podcast, we're going to talk a little bit about the technical aspects of versions of ourselves. We're going to try and explain a bit more about that because I actually, when I see people and even in myself, I would technically see versions of people um, standing in front of them. So an etheric version, a kind of parallel might be version, or something that where that person is thinking about doing something, and you see the version of them doing it already, but it's not quite coming into manifesting in the reality. Along with that, we wanted to keep it into a certain subject. So what seems to be coming up at the moment is authenticity, and really being an authentic being trusting in yourself and really finding the truth in yourself. And along with that is coming through about respect. And a lot of things, we find a lot of people are disrespectful, both of other people, and of land and planets, etc. So I'm going to start here talking a little bit more about versions of ourselves. Now, we've spoken before in previous podcasts around the frequency that we hold, and that frequency will send a signal out to the universe to draw in the people that you either need or don't need at that time. If you're in a version of yourself that's constantly playing a victim, what I see is a very heavy etheric part of you. So it's almost like in a higher dimensional version of you. It's very heavy, very dense. And you will feel, as a victim, somebody talking negative and feeling negative, you will feel that heaviness already. So you're already sensing it. You just don't realize that that's what's happening. And we're saying this, we're telling you about it because what you can do is, I will see if you say something like, "Oh, I wish, oh, I don't know, I wish I was a millionaire," or "I wish I had this job." All of a sudden, you're creating a version of yourself, slight parallel version of you already there. So it already exists. It just hasn't come into the 3D manifestation of matter yet. But this is how people can manifest things, if we want to call it manifest. It simply is just manifesting into matter. We're manifesting all the time with the versions of ourselves, even if it's manifesting what we don't want. So all we're talking about here about manifesting is that you're manifesting whatever you think and feel into that version of yourself that's the standing here in the physical 3D matter with the world around you that you've projected. So here's a version of you standing in front of you that already has this job that you want, or another version of you that already has the perfect beautiful relationship that you want with somebody. I'll do this very quickly, and there's a little more process to it. But very quickly, you can merge those versions together and bring them into yourself. So this is a wonderful thing that the guides have shown me, how to bring those into yourself to help you manifest what you do want. But this doesn't mean to say that we don't do things in the physical and make it not so technical. I like to see things technically. I like to see what the DNA does. I like to see what versions of ourselves are like, all the different parallel lives, what life is like on other planets. But we've got to bring that back to, how do I be my authentic version of myself, my truthful version of myself, and live this fulfilled life? Because I don't know about you, Rob, what we've been talking about is, what tends to happen is, I also see people's versions of themselves in when they're looking outwards and they see what's going on in the world at the moment. And with the subject we're going into is reality TV shows. and things going on with certain celebrities and royals at the moment. We're both in the UK, so we do have the royal family to look to. But what seems to be happening is people are going very much away from themselves. They're not honing in. We always talk about going within. They're not honing within and finding their own truth. They're going off. So the version of themselves it starts going a bit faded. Even the reality version of you starts to be a bit faded because you're giving away your energy to things that we're going to say right now, things that are part of the false matrix. And I will stop there and I'll let Rob have a share because we could go on forever.
We could indeed. We could indeed. Manifesting is a word I don't mind.
Yep,
I know it's a little 70s and 80s, perhaps,
it is.
to say, oh, we're going to manifest this, but it's okay because the meaning is good.
Yes, we know the true
Manifest,
meaning.
I'm going to make something good of
Yes,
this.
yes.
So what do I want? I think when you are looking at manifesting, however you phrase it, you have to manifest what's of value.
Mm,
So
mm,
there's not a lot of point in manifesting about I'm going to win the lottery next week
mm,
or something along those lines, because do you really want to win the lottery next week?
mm,
Can you manage 74 million pounds
mm, mm.
actually? And we've seen many cases of lottery winners utterly unprepared who have just, it's been a disaster. So it's fine to want to manifest, I think, that your multiple selves or your better self perhaps wants to be in a better, more secure place, free of worry, where that one 3D worry we all have about how will we make ends meet
Yes,
is gone.
yes,
So
yes.
you have to be careful what you manifest. If you really, really want that money, then go ahead and manifest. Who knows? But think about what you manifest. Bringing it back to the dreaded world of reality TV.
Mm.
I thought reality TV was a goner a few years ago, but it's back with a vengeance, isn't it?
Oh, it so
And
is.
yeah, I find it intolerable. And I think the reason I find it intolerable is because I'm required to watch a group of people who are A, physically manicured to be something they are not,
Mm, mm.
put in a false situation
Yes,
to create false situations for themselves with unlikely outcomes, which pretty much always includes disaster when the
yes,
show's over.
yes.
So we have hundreds and hundreds, possibly thousands of people around the world subscribing to go through this process to become fake in a fake environment for a
Yeah,
fake outcome.
yeah.
And millions of people, multiple millions of people around the world, subscribe by watching this
Mm-hmm.
and enjoying it and getting really invested in personality and character and the trajectory of their journeys in these programs. And the minute the program's finished, they just trash them mentally.
Yes,
They're
it is.
finished. They're over. What's the next program? So it's the parallel for life, Julie, isn't it?
Mm.
And who we are as authentic people
Yes, yeah.
is, do we want to be something created in other people's images? What do people want to see? Therefore, we'll become that.
Yeah,
You know, if
yeah.
I'm at school and I want a shortcut to fame, do I look to be a YouTube star? Do I look to be a gamer? Do I get on a celebrity pop idol type show, X Factor, whatever the current
Yes.
version is, for the shortcut to fame? And that shortcut to fame never lasts.
We can see it, can't we? When
Yeah,
you actually see the people who've come out of it with the mental health problems,
absolutely. I mean,
people
horrific
act.
things.
Yeah.
We go as far as suicide,
Yeah, I was going to say,
mental
yeah.
collapse,
Mm.
destroyed lives in many cases,
Destroyed is the
and
word. Yeah.
very, very, very few cases where the success holds,
Yeah. Yeah.
in any way. So we're all being fed this fake life
Mm.
option, and we all live in the matrix, and there is a fake matrix we have to deal
Yes.
with. And how to identify the fake matrix and how to identify the real matrix, and it's authenticity.
It really
It's
is.
being true to yourself and respecting yourself and other people.
Yes.
So if you think that going for a permatan at 18, going into Love Island or Love at First Sight, getting married at 20, someone you've never met and getting divorced the minute the cameras are off. If you think that is respectful, you need to disengage. You really need to disengage.
You need to go
And
within.
yeah, we as society needs to disengage from this practice. I'm a bit of a table thumper about this because I
Mm,
think it's a fairly wicked manipulation. I
it
don't like
really
it.
is, yeah.
Yeah, and
It,
it's so easy for us as viewers to go along
it is,
because
and
brainless.
can we see how when we are viewers, just as you get the games, where I've seen the games where,
Yeah,
my family have shown me, nephews have shown me the games. If you're seeing a game that's blowing somebody's head up, and then you're going out, and we're seeing a world where children are coming out and doing the same thing, or being very brutal and not even having any emotion with it. Now,
yeah,
is that an authentic world? Is that a world full of respect for other people?
no,
The versions of them are these they're literally going into what we class as the false reality, or the false matrix, or however you
yeah,
want to say it. That cannot be a world of peace, and how we want to see a new, the new earth. There's no respect there at all. And if even the scientists will agree with this, when we look at something on the TV, on a game, in virtual reality, all of these things on YouTube and podcasts, when you see somebody, you see me and Rob being as authentic as we can. We haven't got all the, all the setup and things, so we're not worried about that. Um, but when you see somebody and you see, what happens is you don't know the difference between what's real and what's not real, because your brain just functions and thinks everything's outside of you is what it is. So we all know that when we watch TV, how many of us, shout at the telly thinking something, even if it's a drama series, when we actually know in our, sort of in the background, we know those are actors. But an actor that plays a villain, if you saw them in the street, how many of these actors get punched or get shouted at in the street, and they're just acting. But if you can imagine with these reality TV shows, they're not actually a reality TV show, like Rob said, completely through an unfalse, a false matrix, an untruth matrix.
yeah.
Now, is that what you want for yourself? Is that what you want for your children? To live in a world where you're giving away, what I see is you're giving away the versions, giving away your energy to things that are not going to fulfill you ultimately. They're not fulfilling the celebrities ultimately. They may get a little bit of fame, they may get, quite a bit of money for it. But is that the way you want to really hold, earn your money that way? Is that what you absolutely want? When you ask your soul, your higher self, is that what they want for you, to live a true life, with respect for everybody else, and being your authentic self, your authentic version of yourself? So that's why, me and Rob are very passionate about when we see things out there and we come back and say, did you see, did you know about this? Or did you know about, what's going on at the moment on the news? We're not sat there watching the news all the time. It can just flick on, because
Mm.
the universe just wants to, or our guides just want us to see that bit, just to understand it. I watched some of the reality TV because I like to watch the dynamics. It's like as a sort of as a coach, you watch the goings on between two people, and you can see how one might be a narcissist and the other will play the victim to that. And those people need help. Those people need help to heal the traumas, not going through more and more of the same trauma, the same, what we've said about before, about patterns happening in your life when these things happen. So, how would anybody want to encourage that trauma to carry on? That cannot be authentic. That cannot be respectful. That cannot be something that allows us to have a fulfilled life. Do we? And yet here we are, with thousands of people on the planet, and well, millions of people on the planet all watching, not because it's just a TV show, and we think that that's okay. Well, for us, we feel that that's, the guides are sort of a bit it makes us feel inward, feel depleted. Sorry, it makes our
Yeah.
energy feel depleted because this is not what we want for a true, for a true new Earth frequency. What it's doing is through the false matrix, it's keeping everybody small because you're going off to the outside yet again, looking at the outside, and you're not keeping in with your true authentic self. We actually hope all of our, most of our listeners will understand this, and see that this is what we need to keep doing. We need to sort of keep honing in and drop this false matrix once and for all. And there's not just the one; it's different things. If you think of it in bits of different belief systems, but this is a big one because it's affecting millions of people. They're not really honing in to help the world. They're just looking at things, Rob and I discussed how children are just going off thinking they can just be a YouTuber and earn the money that way, and not really do anything fulfilled, not have skills or anything, which is what life is about. Even just to be a skilled carpenter. My husband is a joiner, and actually a cabinet maker, so very like skilled in that way. And unfortunately, the college he works at, there's nobody around. There's not many young ones coming up that would be interested in having skills. There's nobody around that wants those skills now. I mean, where we're gonna be without different skills? Plumbing
Mm.
skills, engineers. What's going to happen to the world?
Yeah.
And we do think a lot of this comes from, like kids continuing to be on these games, which I personally can think be very dangerous. They really can mess with, children's brains, can't they, Rob?
Absolutely, they can. Yeah. And it just keeps coming back to, if you want to watch this kind of thing or participate in this kind of thing, neither Julie or I are casting any judgment
Yeah.
upon you. You know,
No. Mm.
we're just asking you to evaluate carefully before you do this, and to question your sense of self-respect, and to question who you actually are, and who do you want to create as you ascend, for want of a better word,
Yeah.
into the fullness of your existence here. What is that creation process for you, and what do you see as the end result? Even if it isn't the end result, what do you see at this point in your life? Where are you going? And if that shortcut is the right shortcut for you, then who are we to criticize it? But we would ask anybody thinking of it, and anybody watching it and consuming this product, to just really evaluate, and evaluate not so much with your mind, evaluate with your heart. So let your intuitive thinking experience this false, and learn to filter it. Neither of us can make it go away. It's going to exist forever. It makes a lot of money for a lot of corporations, so it won't go anywhere. So we must accept that we have to just either watch it or not watch it, and that's everyone's personal choice. It filters so far into life, which is what worries me more.
Mm.
If you could turn off at the end of that program and just go, well, that was just a bit of silly nonsense, and really mean that, not just say that, yeah, okay, less of a problem. But the fact is, people carry this false thinking into everyday life.
They do.
So you end up in a situation now where, and let's, God forbid I'm not a royalist, but let's just look at the situation around the royal family now. We have the king who has an unspecified form of cancer.
Mm.
We have a minor member of the royal family who appears to have committed suicide.
Mm.
We have the Princess of Wales, who has had apparently some kind of surgery and has disappeared from everyone's view, and all sorts of fringe problems around that. But the vultures are circling, because here they see what they see on TV. They see what they think are hoaxes. So where is Catherine is one of the great themes of psychic YouTube at the minute, and tarot readers.
Oh gosh,
But
they're the worst.
first place, mind your own business. But
Yeah, yeah,
ask yourself why you're asking that.
yeah,
What good is it to you? What good is it to anyone other than an audience who might be gullible, to come in and
yeah,
listen to what you've got to say
yeah.
about the royal family? So it's the same process as watching junk TV, which is a false reality. Is you're applying that false reality to actual reality.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't know the truth about these people.
No.
So
And
there's
we
no
shouldn't.
point in
Yeah.
speculating. They're
Yeah.
private people where it matters. Yes, of course, they're a public family and they're an archetypal family and they're interesting in that sense. But their medical issues and their relationship issues are none of our business.
They're not any of our business. And in fact, it's disrespectful for anyone to go, I'm just going to look into their energy. That is like, we know from the start, unless somebody gives us permission to look into their energy and work
Don't
with
go
them,
there.
you just, it's wrong. It's like, I'm just going to walk into somebody's house. Would you walk into somebody's house uninvited? You don't walk into somebody's energy uninvited. And that's nothing, that's not, whatever somebody else wants to do, that's up to them.
No,
But
you're
for
right. I
you,
often
discern whether that's right or wrong.
Yeah. I'm sure. I mean, I get clients who ask me, would you mind just looking into?
Mm.
And it might be their husband or their wife or their
Mm.
cousin or whatever. And I have to say no.
Yes, exactly.
Because unless that person has given me
Yeah.
permission and actually
Yes.
requested it, I have no business going there.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
So, and if I do go there, I'm being disrespectful to them and to me
Absolutely.
and to the
Yeah.
client, frankly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's a no-go area.
It
It's
really is.
keeps bouncing back to respect and authenticity.
It does. Yeah.
Yeah.
We could
And,
do that, that subject
absolutely. How
all
much
day.
do you value yourself? And I hope a lot.
Mm. Mm.
Because we're all unique and special and extraordinary, and we all have a path.
Yeah.
And all this reality TV and muck about the royals in the papers is just distraction.
It is absolute distraction,
Yeah,
distortion.
distraction.
And it
same thing.
stops us. It's stopping us, isn't it?
Yeah.
Going, doing the work. I want to say it again, doing the within work. It's stopping it. We're continually going to the outside. Another word that keeps coming up for me at the moment is avoidance. Avoiding a lot of deep things that we should be dealing with ourselves, and we should be looking to our truth, our authenticity, and literally our sovereignty as well. And so looking into what our soul and higher self is saying, that would make better use of your time than sitting watching TV that is consuming you. And it's okay, as Rob said, it's okay to watch TV and go, well, that was a load of drivel, but I needed to watch it because it taught me a lesson about how people behave, like I do. But then it shouldn't be all day, oh, did you see so and so on TV? No, you should be talking about what are you up to at the moment? What's in your mind? Are you a bit angry? Because the other thing is, it can bring, when you're giving your energy away, it can also bring in, you've got a weakness there, it can bring in through a gap in your energy, or the anxiety that might be felt through literally through the television, because that's a frequency as well, and through radio, etc., through computers, all a frequency. So you can and through games as well, can all have an effect on your body. So again, just watch out for that is all Rob and I want to do. We're very passionate about.
Absolutely. Yeah, we could go on and on about where does this come from? Where is this being can't speak English. Manipulated from? And what is driving this? Is there a desire to keep the vast population as down as they can be by feeding them rubbish so they don't grow?
How interesting.
That's, I think, probably a different episode and maybe scary territory.
Yes.
But it is all for a reason, and you have only yourself and your own ability to rise above.
Yeah. To see a different world,
you
need to change. You need to change it yourself. To see the world that you want to be in, that you want to feel fulfilled and feel, which means happy, joyful, everything. All of that. You have to do things yourself. It's not going to be from outside.
Absolutely. And Julie, if you persist in watching Love at First Sight, I will have to stage an intervention.
Married at First Sight.
That's one. Okay. Yeah, intervention coming.
I say to Rob, I cannot not watch it, because it's like, oh my God, are these people for real? Are
Yeah,
these people, where have they dug them up from? Where have they come from? But literally, they cannot not watch it because I look at the dynamics, that's all.
right.
And then
Okay.
what on earth is going on? And that's it. And I don't watch all of it. Like literally cannot, could not watch all whatever it is, 30 episodes of hour and a half long or whatever it is.
Good Lord. Okay.
So yeah, I can't spend my time doing that. I've got enough to do with my guides and what my own life. I want to, fulfill my own life. so, so I'm too busy
Please,
doing,
please
living
do
out
that.
living out
Yeah,
my life, which is far, far better. And that's all we want of you, isn't it, Rob? And so I think we need to close there
I think so.
and
Yeah,
see, just something that we wanted to share with everybody.
yeah,
Very passionate about making sure you don't keep looking outside for that answer, that everything's within you, and just go within to get your own authenticity and your own respect, and then you can likewise respect others and find the authenticity in others or not and discern for yourself.
yeah.
With that note, I think that's a good time to conclude, so it's a bye from me.
And from me, see you next week.
See you next week.
Bye.